Hello and welcome to Talk Time. My guest today is celebrated actor Zeenat Aman and director Saif Hyder Hasan. Zeenat Aman had come up with a powerful performance in Kasturba as the Mahatma's wife and companion. Of course, the Mahatma, we all know, was a very iconic personality, and playing the role of Kasturba, the Mahatma's wife and companion, must not have been easy. Let's listen to what Zeenat Aman ji has to say on all of these and lots more. Zeenat Aman ji, welcome to Talk Time. Saif Hyder Hasan ji, also welcome to the show.
Thank you, sir.
First, let me ask you, after a break of 15 years, you have suddenly come back to stage once again and straight into Kasturba, portraying the role of the Mahatma's companion and wife. How easy or difficult was it for you?
Well, I was a bit startled when my director approached me for the role because the kind of parts that I played in Hindi cinema were not necessarily did they lend themselves to this kind of an image. So I asked him, why me and why this? And his reply was, well, why not? And I absolutely agreed with that. I think as an actor, you want challenges. You want to do different things at different times. And I really loved the concept that he had, which is that she talks about her relationship with her husband, and history as it unfolds is the backdrop of the play. Mm-hmm. And she's not talking directly to him. It is through letters. It is through letters. Yes. Mm-hmm. She's writing letters to him. Mm-hmm. And it was a very interesting concept for me to do this, and especially to essay Kasturba, because nobody could have imagined that I would do it. And I did do some research on her and found out about her, and I just think that she was an unsung heroine.
Unsung heroine.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. That from there on, Mr. Hasan, basically, the whole nation, the whole world knows about Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, better known as the Mahatma. But many people don't know about much about or enough about Kasturba Gandhi. Now the point is, Kasturba, it must have been a challenging situation for her. Iconic personality, father of the nation. He has been dubbed as the father of the nation, and being that personality's wife or companion. So when you wrote and directed the play, what thoughts were crossing your mind?
So I'll just take you 2 steps before I actually started writing this play. So initially I wanted to explore the concept of 3 women. One was Kasturba Gandhi, one was Ghalib's wife, and the third was Pandit Nehru's wife. And the idea was, what was it to be the wives of these gentlemen? Because I'm sure it wasn't easy. And then I thought, I'll probably have to do it. Then you work on the logistics. So you're talking about a 120-minute play, and you're giving 40 minutes to each story, and then I thought it's not going to be enough. So then
you wanted to combine all the 3 together?
Yeah, so there would have been 3 different stories talking about these 3 men, so almost like an anthology. And then I said, let's focus on Kasturba. And initially, you'll be even more surprised, ma'am knows this was Kasturba's solo.
Who was a solo person on stage.
Initially, I wrote this like a solo.
Okay.
When he first approached me,
only you were supposed to, only Kasturba was supposed to.
Bound script with just Kasturba.
So the play the concept just kept evolving.
And it's very minimalistic in any case, even now.
Yes.
It's minimalistic, so there are 2 people, and then I approached my friend and fantastic actor Arif Zakaria to play Mahatma Gandhi.
Arif Zakaria, of course, playing the lead role she's playing the lead role as Kasturba, he's playing the lead role as Mahatma Gandhi.
So then that's when then the play took its final shape. So it's more of a letter exchange between the 2 of them, and it's not just them writing letters in real time. Their spirits are exchanging letters.
Now, when the director, when Saif Hassan Hyder first approached you, did he tell you the title of the play, Dear Baapu Love Kasturba?
Actually, yes.
Okay, did that title fascinate you actually? Because it
Yes,
fascinated me.
Absolutely, absolutely. But what I found was very daunting because there was this huge script and there was just Kasturba.
Okay.
There was no second character.
Oh.
So when I said to her, I said, how are we going to do this?
Yeah. Did you ever think at any point of time that, when, like you said right at the beginning of this interview, your personality as a superstar of Bollywood at that time, where everybody was, Zeenat Aman was a craze in the country and around the world, and then suddenly Kasturba, the solo character, that was the plan initially,
Yes.
the solo. Did you think,
I thought it was fabulous. I thought it was going to be a challenge.
Yeah.
Like I was at one point in time and during my career, I was accepted as a very westernized leading lady,
yeah. Whether it is in your dress sense.
Lal Kapro Wali Mem Saab,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Chura Liya and all of that.
Yeah.
And then I did a 360 degree with Satyam Shivam Sundaram, a tribal girl with a burnt face. So an actor likes to have different challenges, and I was so delighted because he's very passionate and very involved with what he does. So it was a lot of fun. Going through the motions of creativity.
Now you see, Kasturba. I've not seen your play yet. I hope to see it. But Kasturba, during the exchange of the letters, Kasturba says that, oh, you have your own idealism. I was brought up in such a conservative society. And does it mean that there was some kind of a marital discord is too big a word? There were clashes of
course there was. She was a very
personality.
strong woman. She was. Please understand that they were 7 years old when they were betrothed, and they were 13 years old when they got married. She lost her first child when she was 16. I mean, all this was unfolding as they were very young kids growing up. And he had the tendency, he felt that being married means that you had authority over the other person. And he was very strong with trying to force his authority with her. And over a period of time, she started to rebel. And then she grew into her own. And she was totally rebellious. I mean, she would run off on her own with her friends or her sister or whatever, and he would be so angry with her when she came back. And gradually, they grew together, and he talks about this whole concept of satyagraha and whatever went down.
Yeah, Mahatma Gandhi said that
he got it from her.
Satyagraha, it was her, Kasturba, which encouraged or rather gave the zeal to Mahatma Gandhi to launch the satyagraha.
Yes.
Absolutely. Do you want to?
No, I think this is perfect.
What is the message that there? Is there a message that in the contemporary times that you wanted to convey?
No, actually, I never like conveying messages. But I just thought this was a fascinating story about two people. So as you mentioned, everybody knows Mahatma Gandhi,
right?
But not too many know Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. So this play is also about discovering the man behind the Mahatma and his wife and their journey together. What was it to be married for 60 years? So there's one
60 years, yes, of course.
60 years, I mean, a lot of marriages now don't last for 60 days and 60 months. It was 60 years. And there he says, there's one line in the play where she's no longer alive and her body is kept there. And he says, and somebody tells him, this actually happened. So somebody told him, Dear Baapu chale. And he's looking at her lifeless corpse and he says, 60 साल का साथ था, 60 मिनट तो दे दो. So this sums up their relationship. You could probably figure out that I sort of trembled when I was narrating this. See, all marriages, whether they're celebrity marriages, whether they're common man marriages, they go through their ups and downs.
Absolutely.
This marriage was no different.
Now the play, considering that it was such a they were living in volatile times. There was this movement going on. Everybody looked up to the Mahatma, and as a companion, Kasturba was there with all the marches that the Mahatma undertook. Now, from the point of a play, there are people who might say that why depict only the exchange of letters? Why not some action on stage?
But that's a form which I chose to. As a form, this is a form which I just chose to adopt. You could have.
It's an audio-visual experience. There's a lot
Right.
going on, you know, on the
So-
screen at the back.
Yeah, actually, I just
Yeah.
thought I wouldn't reveal it here, but now that you asked me this question, so there are two layers happening in the play. One is the actors exchanging letters, and at the back, you have the real Mahatma and the real Kasturba being shown.
Those are the real life shots.
Absolutely. So this was a form which I sought.
Do you have a name for this form? This genre?
Not really. I don't know. So Tumhari Amrita was a pure. If you know about Shaban Azmi and Farooq Sheikh Saab's play, there is only letters. So what I've done is, letter writing. What it happens? Why I chose the form letter? Maybe as I'm talking to you, I'm telling you this. You can explore the deepest core of your heart when you're writing a letter.
Yeah.
You're not talking. You're not losing your temper. You're not losing anything. You're being absolutely. You can recollect at peace, and you can sort of go retrospective and introspective and everything of that
Right.
kind when you're writing a letter. So I thought, when Kasturba says something to the Mahatma, and then he responds, so there's that calmness, there's that tranquility, which probably wouldn't have happened had I staged a scene between the two of them.
Right.
And this then also gives me that chance to play out the audiovisual. So that probably is the reason why I did it.
Now, Zeenat Aman ji, I was just, before this interview, I was having a little chat with Saif Saab, that basically, you've done about a dozen performances already of this play in various cities. Now, what do you think has been, because, theatre is such a medium where you are directly in front of the audience, you have a direct connect with the audience, you can see, you can gauge the reactions, unlike in a film where you have done the shoot and you don't know how the people react. So, in these 12 performances that you had already done, what is your impression? What do you think the people could be thinking when you were acting it on stage?
I think that most of the people, 90% of the people loved it. You cannot account for 10%
Absolutely,
of any audience at any given point in time. So I think they were quite fascinated with the way it had been depicted and the actual interaction of the two people, because most people are not aware. They're not aware of this partnership. Do you know that they actually volunteered during World War I in London to go into the hospitals and work there? And Kasturba was working with 16,000 wounded Indian soldiers who were fighting in World War I. And she, at that time, the caste was such a caste-driven society, and she didn't care about that. She was just there and she was just doing her thing, and she was right there. And do you know that when he went to London to study as a lawyer, there was no money to go. It was her jewelry that she had bought from her family's home that was sold so that he could have enough.
That amount of sacrifice which she had made.
She is incredible. Kasturba is incredible, and their relationship was turbulent. It was it went through patches of turbulence. And she was not, I don't think she did not bow down to him, she stood up to him. She always did what he wanted and expected most of the time. Even if she didn't agree with it, but there were some times when she said, no way.
So she knew where to draw the line, basically. Although she maybe listened to him, agreed to his ideas, agreed to his viewpoint, but at the time when...
No, a lot of times she didn't agree with him.
A lot of times she didn't agree.
At all.
And she stood firm on her decision.
No, but she still went ahead with what he wanted and expected, but she voiced the fact that she did not agree.
Now,
am I right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Now okay, a director has a vision, director has decided to use that format of writing letters, but just coming aside a little bit, films and theatre, as far as you are concerned, why did you decide to come on theatre? What attracted you to theatre? And now, of course, in the last couple of years, you have been doing theatre.
Well, the fact that this was such a
Sort of contrasting
Yeah.
for you.
yeah, absolutely, it was very interesting for me to want to do that, and
And it's in English.
and
So,
it's,
and it's in English, and also the fact that you are transcreating the language of the Mahatma and Kasturba. Obviously, they never spoke English to each other, and they must have spoken Gujarati to each
Yeah.
other. So that I thought was another challenge. How do you convince the audience that this conversation actually took place in this language, which is the English language? Because the play is in English, and I am of this belief that had this been staged in the West, it could probably have been done by a white woman and a black man.
Perhaps, yes.
Yes. So these kind of things, why letters, and why Zeenat Aman, and why Arif Zakaria, and why this happens in our side of the society. So I was always of the firm thing, let's get their story out in whatever format, in whatever language. Tomorrow, if somebody wants to do this in French, I'll be more than delighted. I'll be more than delighted. Somebody wants to do this in Bangla, I'll be more than delighted.
What is the takeaway from this play for Zeenat Aman? Does it inspire her to do more plays, or does it remind her at times, or said, okay, let me create some of these magic
No, no.
in films, in celluloid?
No, no,
Do you
it
want to
d-
go back to films?
no, not going back, going forward, no, nothing. I live in the moment. And I'm really enjoying this whole process. So for me, it's the here and the now. Of course, we had a bit of a lull during the pandemic,
Yes.
and now that things have picked up, I'm just so delighted to be here doing this, and then we'll wait and see what unfolds. There are no, at this stage of my life, there are no great aspirations. It's just to enjoy and to revel and to be present and savor.
So
what
people
is
have different
happening.
turning points in life. Do you believe in that? People have different turning points. There cannot be just one turning point in life, perhaps. People reinvent themselves all the time.
See, I don't believe in turning points. I just believe in the journey. It's a journey, and you can never anticipate what is going to happen next. But you should appreciate, enjoy, and have gratitude.
Do you believe in reinvention? For example, now I'm in front of cameras here. I'm a television journalist, but I started my career as a print journalist. I've reinvented as a television journalist. I may have reinvented as a writer. So, I mean, what about you? Do you believe in reinvention? Do you think actors particularly need to keep on reinventing?
I don't think anybody needs to keep doing anything. Just do what gives you joy. That's what I believe.
That is interesting way of looking at
Yeah.
things. Keep things simple.
Keep things simple. Do what gives you joy. Honestly speaking, life is too short. Do what gives you joy.
I think there is a very strong message there. Do what gives you joy, and I'm sure, Saif, this has given you enough joy writing this particular play.
Lot of joy. Writing this, directing it, putting it all together, working with ma'am, working with Arif, getting those pictures of the Mahatma and Kasturba. I think extraordinary joy in putting it all together. Extraordinary joy.
Now you said that you initially wanted to have it a combination of three characters,
Yeah.
three wives. Now, after this, what? I mean, are you planning to come up with some kind of a sequel to some of the great personalities and bring their life on stage, or what do you think?
So earlier I worked on certain personalities, aspects of their personalities. One of my plays was Ek Mulaqat. That was about Sahil Ludhianvi and Amrita Pritam. Then there was one called Gardish Mein Tare that was a reference and a tribute to Guru Dutt and Geeta Dutt, their relationship, their turbulent marriage. So this, I think, falls in the same pattern. And now let's see. I'm looking at, I don't know. So there's something like a conversation. I read a book in Bangla, which was very interesting. I read an English translation of it. I'm thinking of adapting it. It's about a conversation between Mirza Ghalib and Saadat Hasan Manto from their graves. It's about
Why is it that there is always a conversation about grave? Even here, there is a conversation about grave. What's your problem?
I don't think it's my problem. I think death brings a lot of drama in it. Death brings a lot of drama in it.
Yeah.
So I write about death and I write about resurrections.
Okay. That means you believe in life after death. You believe in rebirth.
I don't know, but I definitely believe about the emotional resurrection of people. I do believe in that. I believe that death is not the end of the story. It could be rebirth, it could be anything. But
did Saif Saab tell you about that grave that there will be exchange of letters from the beyond?
yes,
Did it you knew about it?
Yeah, so this was actually the play which I gave her. This was the same play.
Same play. Okay.
It's just that we changed the format of the play. So the original title of the play, that she's writing letters to the Mahatma, they were already there. That concept was already there.
Absolutely. Now, Zeenat Aman ji, you have now played this very interesting role of Kasturba. Now, does it give you some ideas that are you interested in playing, say, in your mind that I'd love to play so and so, that particular character of a well-known personality after this play?
No, not really.
No?
No.
Can I answer this question?
Yeah.
Please.
I think for actors, I'm just talking about because since I work with actors, I think it's the script ultimately which matters. So if she comes across a script,
But you can't say now. If the script interests you, perhaps yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So maybe had she read a biography on Kasturba Gandhi, even then the thought probably wouldn't have.
That's true.
So she got a script with this character, and she thought, okay, let me play this character. It looks interesting. It looks challenging. So I think again, if she finds a
But his
script,
question was, am I aspiring to do
Yeah.
anything? Well, I have no such aspiration at the
so I
moment.
think it's just going to be.
But maybe as Saif has said that if you get a good script, yes, why not?
Surely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
why
I
not?
think every actor feels that way. If there is something really, interesting and challenging, then you like to do it.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I mean, Rangamanch, that group, that banner, which the Pride East group to which our channel Notice Live belongs, this is our parent company, Pride East Entertainments Private Limited. The group itself is doing a lot of work to promote music, to promote culture. They are into filmmaking. Of course, we have got 2 news channels. We have got entertainment channels, music channels. So this is a comprehensive media group. Now, the group is promoting something called the Rangamanch, as the title itself suggests that it's something to do with theatre. And we had some of the greatest dramatists in Assam, and Tejpur in northern Assam was the hub. Tejpur is a garrison town. That was the hub from where this Ban theatre, it's called the Ban theatre, originated. So now this effort of the group is to encourage the young artists and amateur theatre. In that context, they are doing these competitions, etc., and you'll be perhaps you'll be giving away the prizes, the winners of those plays. Now the point is, my question to you is how important is it amateur theatre? Do you think the big brands, whether it is music, whether it is the big films, whether it is big banners, Bollywood, Hollywood, everybody is collaborating now. Do you think theatre somehow is endangered?
I think the art of storytelling has been alive for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. And I don't think that is ever going to go away. How much commercial value will it have in the future? I don't know. But it will always exist. Always.
Theatre will never
What do you
be
think?
endangered. Theatre will never be endangered because, number one, amateur theatre is where I came from, Delhi. So I used to work and do amateur theatre at the same time. I think promoting amateur theatre is probably a brilliant idea. Nobody really does that.
That's such a nice, such a
Otherwise,
wonderful thing to
we
do.
all have to fend for ourselves. And
It's a wonderful thing
get
to
in.
do.
So if you're giving them an umbrella and you're giving them a platform to perform, and you're giving them an audience, that's what an artist wants, especially at an amateur level, because we're struggling. We try to do it in our way. When we were amateur, when I was a part of an amateur theatre group, we struggle to find an audience. We struggle to find the money to book an auditorium.
Right.
I think this is fabulous work. And your other question is, is theatre in danger? No, it's not. The only time I felt it was in danger.
That is a very interesting thing.
When COVID happened.
That's a very interesting thing you said. When you were into amateur theatre, you had no money to book an auditorium. Exactly this thing was told to me by Sonal Mansingh ji when I was interviewing her. She said that, music, you can listen wherever you want. You are driving, you are sleeping, you are working out, you can listen to music. But to see a dance performance, she was talking in her context because she's a dancer.
Yeah.
So we didn't have money to book an auditorium. Where do I perform? All the time, I was called only when I became a name. I made a name for myself. But earlier days, we didn't have money to even book an auditorium to do a show. So theatre, do you think amateur theatre goes through more or less the same pangs?
Everywhere, across the world, I would say.
But Zeenat Aman ji, with people like you, celebrities like you who had perhaps nothing more to achieve, you have done it, you have shown it, 70s, 80s, 90s, you ruled Bollywood. And now, person like you, a personality like you, coming and acting on stage, do you think that means a lot to, whole lot of theatre actors?
I don't know what it means to anybody. I really don't.
You are being humble, but Saif Saab, what do you think?
I think it means a lot to a lot of people. With her performing at other centers, so a lot of these.
What I'm asking is a personality like her coming onto stage.
Absolutely. See, it's also going. So when your youngsters watch her, they know what they're watching. They know what they're watching. They're watching experience. They're watching talent. They're watching a legend there. And at the same time, it's giving them food for thought.
Absolutely. All good conversations must come to an end. But finally, Assam, you may have come earlier, I'm not quite sure. But people of Assam would be willing to see you on stage. And we're expecting that, you'll be encouraging the amateur theatre artists, a lot of people. And we have a very interesting theatre genre here. It's called the Brahmoman theatre, that is the mobile theatres. They're full of effects, helicopter will land on the stage and people think that it's a real helicopter landing. A lot of special effects.
Lovely.
It's called the mobile theatre. They're very, very famous. So Assam has a tradition of theatre.
How lovely.
Yeah.
How absolutely lovely.
And Assam, I think, is vibrant.
It is
literature,
very vibrant.
music,
yes,
theatre.
Yes.
And the people are amazing. The best part of Assam are the people. I had some
lovely fish today.
You had some lovely fish today, great. And I wish you enjoy your stay in Assam. Zeenat Aman ji, thank you very much for talking to me.
Thank you,
Saif, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure talking.
Pleasure talking.
Pleasure.